George from the Keeper's Hive. We're here at the Winterthur Apiary, which is in northern Delaware. It's January 11th, and we're here just to sort of see how the bees are doing this winter. As a quick summary of this apiary, this is one of the apiaries that we have Keeper's Hives at. It's located in northern Delaware. We've managed 8 hives here all season, and we had 8 hives going into winter. We did a really good job with the mite management this year, checking the mite levels and treating when appropriately. I usually don't fall feed, and I didn't fall feed these hives this year. This year was sort of an odd year in our sort of mid-Atlantic region, where our fall flow was really poor, and the bees ended up consuming a lot of their honey actually when they were making their fall winter bees in September and October. So these hives are definitely going into winter lighter than in previous years. Out of those, we have 2 options, right, to overwinter the Keeper's Hive. We have option A, where we overwinter just with the brood chamber and the medium nuke, with no frames in the medium nuke, just emergency feed in the medium nuke. And then we have option B, where we have the brood chamber, and then we drop down the deep exchange nuke box onto the brood chamber. Option A, with just the medium nuke and emergency feed, are done in 7 of these hives, and 1 of these hives we ended up dropping the deep exchange box full of honey down. So hopefully, you know, the bees are doing well. Bees generally die in the winter for 2 reasons. One is that they die because they have sick bees, which are caused by viruses and mites. Those colonies usually will die prior to the new year. So usually November and December, those colonies will just dwindle. You'll go into your hive, you won't see any bees, or you may see just a small cluster of bees, and they usually die before January 1st. The other reason for the winter cluster to die is because they run out of food. Again, that's more of a concern that I've had this year because of our lack of our fall flow, but historically, the bees that starve in the winter generally will die in the new year, generally January and February, when their stores run out or when they start to make brood, and they just don't have the food to keep that cluster warm and to feed the brood, and they'll just crash. When you look at that hive's going to look different than the hive that died of mites. That hive is going to have a sort of a relatively large pile of dead bees on the bottom board of the hive. You may also see a bunch of dead bees on the comb with their heads in the comb, just having no food. So. Hey everybody, it's George from the Keeper's Hive. Thanks for joining me again. We were out here about 2 weeks ago and we checked on all 8 hives and they were all alive. But since then we've had a week's worth of snow and really cold temperatures. We've had about 6 inches of snow and nighttime temperatures pretty much in the low teens for about a week. So we thought we'd come back out and show you how easy it is to check on the bees and hope they're all doing well. So come join me. Hey, we're back. We're gonna go right down the line of these 8 hives and see, make sure they're alive. So
we see some flying already. It's warmer today.
So again, open the hinge roof. Ooh, very nice. So you can see right underneath the observation window, they're alive and they're pretty populated. And those are broken clusters. So they look great, don't they? They look really good. Number 2.
Number 2.
A little bit of snow off the top. Again, we see some poop on the ground there, so we feel pretty good that we're gonna see alive bees in here, but let's take a look. Again, open up the hinge roof. Whoa! Awesome, right? So they're pretty big clusters coming out of winter. So, you know, they're covering 4 of the frames, so you know they're covering the other 4. So we have 8 frames of bees coming out of winter in these hives. So it's a good thing. Okay, moving on. Hive number 3. Interesting. We have a few cold bees on the landing board. Take the snow off. Again, super simple, right? undo the strap. I really don't know what I'm going to see when I open these up. It has been cold. A little smaller cluster, so not quite as big as the other two, but definitely, you know, a decent size to make it through the winter. So these bees are alive. And you can see that all these hives are basically being overwintered in a single deep box. They are not wrapped with any insulation. They do all have top insulation on them with no top ventilation. I got a bee on my head. Take a look. It's always like Christmas almost. Like, what am I going to get inside my package, right? And I truly don't know. Oh, smaller. So this one's a little smaller. Cluster-wise, it's alive. Should be fine. So even though that cluster is smaller, it was smaller the last time we went out here, but they are alive. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4. We're going to go on to 5.
Is 5 the feisty one?
5's the feisty one. Yes, we know 5. So Dave's going to step away with the camera. And again, you see me clearing off the snow off the top of these. I really don't know if they're all alive. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. Now, these bees are never quite so happy to see me, but we'll open this up. Ooh. Okay, ready, Dave?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Are you sure you're sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, you see.
Yeah, we got them. I'll back up.
Back up, close them up. They're the one hive out here that's like, leave us alone. Whoa, nice bees. See, they're already, the 5's a problem. We're gonna requeen 5 in the spring, Dave. We're gonna
One may or may not just have landed on my head.
we're gonna requeen 5. 5 we will.
Okay.
5 we will fix.
5's getting clipped.
And I'm not. We'll go into how to do it in the spring, but that one's gonna get a new queen. But for now, we'll let it be. 6. Again, this top insulation is key on the hive. It sits right over the observation window. Uh-oh.
There's some
Small.
action.
So let's take a look.
You want to open it up?
Yeah, let's take it one look further here. Let's go here and see if they've just sort of migrated towards the. There they are.
Ah, okay.
Plenty of bees.
Plenty of food?
Plenty of food, plenty of bees. They just have moved inward a little bit. So for some reason, these bees are
And this one, you're kind of looks like a hybrid of your two systems. It's there's no queen excluder, but there's 8 frames.
yeah, so there's no, this one we took the queen excluder out for the winter. You don't have to, but we did. And you can see that we did the mountain camp sugar here. So you can see that the newspaper is holding some moisture, and the mountain camp sugar is also holding some, is getting cakey because of the moisture. So, you know, that's what happens when you don't sort of keep a calm, girls. See? It's like, why am I sticking my hand in there, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know. Leave their food alone.
Yeah.
They're like,
Okay.
don't touch my
Well, we
dinner.
were worried there for a bit, but 6 is alive. Maybe not as big as the, well, not small though. I mean, when you open up when you take a look at where the emergency feed is, they're okay. You know, this is the one hive here. The 7 is the one hive here where we sort of overwintered with the deep exchange box full of honey on it. So some of the bees may be up in here, so we may not see a lot in the single brood, which we don't, right? So they've already sort of gone up into this box again. So on this box, on the deep exchange box, I have a shim, again, newspaper, and mountain camp sugar. And this hive, I probably should add some more emergency feed today, right? Because February's coming up, and they're gonna increase their food consumption, and you know, they're running out now. This exchange box may still be pretty heavy. I don't know, and I'm not going to mess with them right now. So before we leave today, I'll just throw a little bit more fondant on the top of this hive. But it looks great. Okay, Dave.
Last one.
Last one. 8's usually happy to see us. It's funny how the bees are, you get to know your hives. And every time we look at 5, I can't stick my hand in 5. So what do you all think? You think this hive's going to be alive?
I think so. I hope so.
Me too. I'm pretty confident. So again, let's take a look. So again, we're going to open the hinge roof, remove the, and again, there they are. They're right there. And again, it's not as big as some, but I'm sure if we take the,
Oh yeah.
you'll see them all in there.
There's a
So
bunch.
they're all kind of in there. So we got 8 hives that are alive, that are big enough to, and they're gonna start making brood. So if the hive survived up till now, especially with this week where it's been really cold, the only thing we have to worry about right now is as we transition from winter to spring, that they don't run out of food. You know, so you can see that there's emergency food up there. We're going to continue, just as insurance, to add some emergency food so they don't run out. But these populations are pretty much at their nadir right now, coming out of winter, end of January, beginning of February. And once February starts, you're going to see these populations grow. So next time we come out in a couple weeks, just to make sure there's enough food, we're probably already going to see the first round of brood hatching out and the populations start to increase. So what can I say? It's been a really cold week. We've had low temperatures in the teens the whole week, and we're basically overwintering hives in single brood chambers with emergency feed, and we have 100% survival. So
Not too bad.
not too bad. And you know, that's you just have to
I mean, we have to come back in February and feed them, right?
You just have to come back in February and feed them and make sure they don't run out of food. And then come March, we'll be looking at, you know, sort of managing, you know, sort of getting them out of winter and getting them ready to get into spring. So that's what we have out here. 8 alive hives, 8 hives that survive cold weather, and good stuff.
Cool.
So thanks for joining me.